Well, hello. Welcome to the Between the Buried and Me tour bus. What's up? I'm Paul from Between the Buried and Me. You're on our tour bus right now. We are on the Colors Experience Tour, which is a 17-city tour. We play 2 nights in each city. First night we play Colors 1, which came out in 2007, and the second night we play Colors 2, which came out in 2021. Opening is the Acacia Strain. They do a similar kind of thing. They play one of their earlier albums on night 1 and a later record on night 2. So you're currently in the cockpit where Hans Schlosser, the captain of this fine vessel, does his magic and keeps us safe from city to city. Most important job on any tour is the driver. Remember that. No one really sits in the jump seat. We often use that for like pizza boxes and things that need to be thrown out. And I guess maybe we pawn that off on Hans. I'm not sure. We shouldn't do that, but we do. All right, we have arrived in the front lounge. This is where the hanging out takes place. As you can see, it's a lot of activity always going on in here. It is always popping off in here in the front lounge. We got Chuck. He's the merch man, mastermind behind selling your shirts. He also does a guest vocal spot on Colors 1 night. So if you're coming to any of the shows, be on the lookout for my man Chuck Johnson up there during prequel to the sequel, doing some screaming and hollering. We got session guitarist extraordinaire Tristan Allman right here. We got tour manager, our illustrious leader, Chris Hill is his name. And then we got one of the world's best drummers, Mr. Blake Richardson, which you have the honor and privilege right now of watching him make himself an espresso drink, which is this is the pride and joy of the bus, and we'll talk about that. We have 2 TVs on either side. Unfortunately, Chicago, we're not getting satellite service today, so that's not ideal, and we're not happy about it.
We almost canceled.
That's the lie. We almost canceled the show. We asked for parking that would allow us, and they couldn't provide it, and so we almost canceled, but we didn't. But yeah, no satellite service today. Normally we'd be watching, right now we'd probably be watching some March Madness, although I don't think there's any games today, but that's what we have been watching, a little NCAA tournament action. That's the entertainment. Sometimes we watch movies, but mostly, just sports, TV. Post-show, we like to watch, what do we like to watch? Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives is a popular one. Shark Tank sometimes. And that's about it. We're pretty chill with the entertainment. Nothing crazy. I do want to point out this right here. This is something that we are very proud of. We're very eco-conscious with our water consumption. Instead of having water bottles all over the place, Chris Hill here, who I mentioned earlier, has developed this nice system here where we have these 5-gallon water things and then a little installable pump there, battery operated, and that way we fill up our own water bottles, and that's how we consume water. We do always keep one of these just so we can fill up the espresso machine. But yeah, so to all the bands out there, you got to get with the times, man. You got to do something like this. Do something like this. Bring your own water bottle and have a little refillable 5-gallon tank here. So in the cooler here, which we don't actually use as a cooler, we don't put ice in there, but we just have some LaCroix 9 in there, and some Dr. Pepper Zeros, which I believe Blake enjoys, and maybe Travis. And Chuck enjoys it. I don't drink soda. I'm above that. Better than that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the front lounge. We also have a table here for eating. You're always going to find some sort of pastry residue in this area. Blake loves pastries. This is another thing I'm very proud of. This is my Ember cup. The guys made fun of me for it, but this thing's amazing. When I make coffee, I can have an app, and I can set this to the ideal temperature for my coffee beverage. So for black coffee, I like it to sit at about 135 Fahrenheit. For a milk-based drink, like a cappuccino or a flat white, I like it to sit at about 130. Okay, those are the ideal temps, and this thing keeps it at that temp. Okay, so while these other suckers are just using regular mugs where the shit gets too cold, I got my shit at a perfect temp. We do have ample storage in here. We have cabinets along the whole length here, and we have drawers underneath the couches. There's nothing particularly cool in there or noteworthy except maybe my drawer, just a lot of coffee. I have people bring me coffee because they know I'm a coffee guy. And so I have a lot of coffee. I have some exercise bands because you can probably tell I'm in peak physical condition. This is how I stay that way. I do a lot of resistance training. So I recommend that. I got supplements, I got multivitamins, I got omega-3s, various other supplements to keep me in peak physical condition, because to play this kind of music, you gotta be a physical specimen, which I am. We're lucky enough to have kind of like a full-size fridge refrigerator on here. Some buses have like a kind of a smaller version, so we're thankful to have a pretty sizable fridge. And as you can see here, we're pretty well stocked up. We have various sauces and condiments down here, some sort of fancy beer. Yeah, some other Brooklyn brewery. We got a guy from Brooklyn, that's all he cares about is Brooklyn stuff. Sugar-free Red Bulls, that is a staple for Blake, drummer Blake. He drinks, what would you say, 10 to 12 of those a day?
Yeah, easily. Chuck drinks them too.
Chuck drinks them too. And maybe Travis, I can't remember. Travis loves the yerba mates. Travis is our light guy, and he loves those. Tommy, the singer, loves the Vita Cocos, coconut water. Simply Lemonade. Eric, our guitar tech, that's his request. Almond milk, we got a couple cereal guys. Dan loves post-show cereal, so he's always going to get into that almond milk. We also have chocolate almond milk, silk. That's really good. We'll like steam it with the espresso machine, and you've got hot chocolate, which is nice. And then this is probably the most important thing in here is our Califia barista style oat milk. This is huge because it steams really well for cappuccinos and lattes. Some of us are vegan, so we have like a lot of sort of vegan goods, vegan hot dogs down there. I can't open this without throwing my shoulder out of socket. But yeah, there's like vegan turkey, vegan hot dogs, vegan sausages, stuff like that. Freezer is also got some goodness in it. More vegan stuff. Vegan sausage, vegan just egg, vegan corn dogs. This is a huge thing. We have an air fryer in here, so we make a lot of vegan nuggets. We have a cornucopia of different types of nuggets. These are pretty good. Jack and Annie's, vegan nuggets. And frozen fruit for smoothies. Some of the guys like smoothies. So, then here's some pretzels. Oh, and these are great. Highly recommend these. These are the kind frozen ice cream bars. This is like a vegan ice cream bar. It kind of tastes like the Snickers ice cream bars. That's what I would compare them to, and they are delicious. So that's the freezer. This is where our dry snackage is. So we just keep it's a lot of like kind of healthy-ish snacks. Even this. I mean, look, what band is gonna have this, dude? Seaweed snacks. That's how we're rolling here. Yeah, a lot of tortilla chips, hippies, which are fun. Yeah, we just try to keep like a variety of snack goods. Our tour manager Chris loves Teddy Grahams. That's a big hit. Yeah, he's got the palate of a 4-year-old. Pretzels, cereal. There's the cereal. I mentioned Dan likes cereal. Tommy eats cereal sometimes too. This is kind of unique. The trash is actually in here as well. A lot of times trash is over here on the sink side in buses, but this one has its own separate sort of chute here, which I like because it kind of, it's almost like double sealed from the hangout area. So, you don't have any smells that you don't want to deal with. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. We have a panini, George Foreman. So we'll like press sandwiches and stuff. That's pretty much it in there. Bunk alley. We have 10 people on this bus. There's 12 bunks, so we are afforded the luxury of having a couple junk bunks. So this bunk is one of the junk bunks, and the bunk here is a junk bunk. This is everybody's bunk, so let's see. Up here we have Nate, sound guy, lives up top. Chris, tour manager. Bottom is Dan, bass player. Middle here is Blake, drummer. The bottom is Chuck, merch. Let's see, back here, this is Eric, guitar tech's bunk. This is my bunk, which you can actually look in my bunk. I don't want to do anything, but it's just a bunk. It's not super. It's just kind of a bunk. That's where I sleep. Listen to music. Bunks are also kind of like just a quiet place to go. So sometimes I'll just lay in my bunk, not to sleep, but just like to kind of get away for a little bit. Maybe listen to music or whatever. Maybe watch a movie. So yeah, bunks are kind of dual purpose in that way. Another junk bunk up here. Tommy, the singer, sleeps here, and Tristan, guitar player, sleeps down there. Yeah, so I always like a middle bunk. I'm tall, so it's kind of hard for me to do a top bunk. Also, I'm old. I'm like the oldest guy, so I'm like, can I get a middle, please? So I like the middle. Some of the younger, more agile guys end up on the top, or the least tenured. So Eric's only done like 2 tours with us, so it's like, bro, you got to get in the top. But he's cool with it. And then bottom bunk is like, it's good, but you've got a lot of like people, you got a lot of this, people walking up and down, so it can be a little bit noisy, and it almost feels a little bit dirty because there's just like shoes laying around and stuff. So, but bottom is not bad. If I couldn't have a middle, I would take a bottom. Top's just rough for me. I've done it before, but again, I'm getting too old for it. So I do love the middle bunk, and I usually stake a claim to it right out of the gate. And for the most part, we've had like kind of the same bunk lineup for years and years and years. So now we're at the back lounge. This serves like not so much as like a hangout purpose. It's almost like an office. So this is where like Chris and Chuck will come after the show to do like the settlement for merch, to get the merch numbers figured out. So Chris will sit here with his computer, Chuck's here, they're counting money, they're kind of figuring out what was sold, whatever. So it's kind of more of an office. It's also like a little bit of a phone booth. So if you need to make a phone call and you just want some peace and quiet, you can close the door and make a phone call. We never really, use there's a TV back here, but we don't really use it. This is mostly just like a very purpose-driven kind of lounge. So again, phone calls, show settlement stuff, or if you just want a quiet place to do some work, I know it's like tax season, so like I came back here one day and like worked on my taxes for an hour. Also at night when everybody's like sleeping, this does kind of turn into like a little bit of a storage area. This is like ends up being like full of shoes. I put my shoes back here as well. So yeah, back lounge is kind of like not really a hangout spot. It's more of an office / storage area more than anything else. Especially, we have the stuff hanging up in here. People have like jackets hanging here, rain jackets, stuff like that. So that's pretty much all the back lounge is. It's not used super often, but it does come in handy from time to time. Thank you guys so much for checking out our tour bus. Please go to betweentheburiedandme.com to check out any future tour dates. Hopefully we're coming to a city near you and you can come check us out in person. Instagram handle @BTBAMOfficial. That's probably our handle for all the various social media outlets. And thank you guys so much for coming.